Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Skills Impact Series. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm very excited to have a conversation with LD. Welcome, LD.
Hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you.
Of course, you're so welcome. We appreciate the fact that you're spending time with us today outside of your typical day-to-day working. Let's just jump right into it. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Sure. My name is LD Richardson Sr. D is in Dwayne, LD Richardson Sr. I am the Director of Operations at NorthStar Foundation. NorthStar is the only single-sex after-school program in the state of Nebraska and possibly the region. And we serve young gentlemen from grades 3 through 12. And we are focusing on several components from basic needs, hope, belonging, agency, and leadership. And we do that through several other touch points that we want them to have, and that is through academics, through adventure, through athletics, and those other areas. And I serve as the director of operations of this awesome organization.
Oh, that's fantastic. And it is such a wonderful organization and providing the young men with the not only the skills that they need to kind of navigate through their world, but also them watching you learn new skills and kind of navigate through things too. So tell us a little bit about why you joined our Skills Accelerator, and what program you went through.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes. So, as director of operations, I oversee the building grounds and maintenance. I oversee food services. I oversee technology integration. I oversee safety and security. I oversee the transportation services, and I oversee all the rentals for the organization. So that's a lot to manage. And one day I saw an email from Gener8tor Skills about a project management course. And so with all that I oversee, I was very interested in participating in that.
Fantastic. And can you tell us a little bit about your experience during the program, kind of the work that you did both with your coach, but also the work that you did independently on the learning modules?
Sure. First, let me say Diego is amazing. I
Love
want to be
Diego.
like him. Yeah, I love him. I want to be like him when I grow up. So he's amazing. And the work that we did, the communication from Diego was just amazing. It was fascinating. And then taking the courses was very enlightening for me. I thought, I went into the mindset of, oh my gosh, this is like a class, a school. I have to really have everything in order. And the lessons that was in there, I love the fact that there were videos that were relevant and they were short, but they were long enough to keep me engaged.
Hmm.
Short enough to keep me engaged, but long enough to allow me to be able to get what I need. And I enjoyed that tremendously. And then not only that, but some of the things that they taught me in the course, I was able to put into practice. One of them in particular was like the standing meetings. And so I put that into practice at some things, some of our meetings that we've had here. It's like, come in, we're having a quick standing meeting, everybody report out, and we're done. Let's go, let's keep moving. So
I love hearing that. We at Generator, we do a lot of that too, just to kind of touch base and make sure that everybody's aligned on kind of the priorities and also what the things are that we need to get done as a team. How has your team responded to those meetings? Did they find that useful and helpful?
yes, they did. They did. They found it very useful and helpful because we're very busy. And sometimes we do have quite a few meetings. So being able to do that, to keep it concise, keep it short, hit the high points, touch points, and then everybody disperse and do what they need to do. It helps out a lot.
Fantastic. And tell us, during the program, what was one of the biggest challenges that you faced and how did you overcome it?
For me, I took the program about a year ago. It was last year, I believe around May. I started around Mayish, somewhere in there. And during that time, there was some traveling that I needed to do. And so it started like right in the middle of my travel period. And just the challenge of navigating and blocking out some time to be able to do some of the courses and to stay on track. That was the thing. I'm a big perfectionist. My number one Gallup strength is achiever. And so I like achieving. And I did not want to get behind, you know. And so the challenge of just blocking out time, managing what I manage here and directing what I do here at NorthStar Foundation, and then having and setting aside the time to do the course. That was a challenge. But once I got into the rhythm, then it was no problem at all.
Got it. So it sounds like you utilized a lot of your time management skills to kind of set yourself up for success. And would you say that for a program like ours, is that an important piece to make sure that kind of you know exactly what you're going to be working on and how you're going to fit it into your schedule?
Yes, I would suggest that anyone that participate in this, do a little more research when they meet with their coach, like Diego, and then ask specific questions of what is required, what is needed, and all of that. I was just so excited to jump in. I jumped headfirst in, which was okay. And then, but Diego again was awesome and helped me. And then using my time management skills, I did time blocks so
Hmm.
that I could have time to focus on doing what was necessary.
Fantastic. And in terms of your role today, I know you shared a little bit with us about the work that you do, but as an operations manager, could you kind of walk us through like what is your day-to-day or kind of like month-to-month look at in terms of, I know you have multiple departments that you're overseeing and a lot of different types of work that's occurring in each of those departments. So how do you keep it all straight and how do you make sure that you are meeting with the individuals that you need to meet with on your team to make sure that they're able to continue moving through the work that they need to get done?
Yeah, thank you for that. And so I do that by kind of managing the time frames of the meetings. So for instance, for the transportation fleet that I oversee, I typically meet with them at least 3 times a week because things change. So in the transportation arena, there's logistics that has to be, discovered and followed through and managed of where we're going to pick up. If something changed, if something flipped, then we have to deal with that. But I meet with them about 2 or 3 times a week. I have an assistant that helps me as well, and we have a bi-weekly meeting that we do. And then my maintenance tech, I meet with him weekly. So I kind of schedule the meetings in those blocks. So there's always consistent face-to-face communication and follow up and follow through, you know.
Got it. And it sounds like, especially on the transportation side, my guess is things probably do change relatively often, probably more often than you would like them to change as needed. But it sounds like the way in which you make sure that that keeps on is by having those multiple meetings per week. So I think that's a really good distinction. There are certain things that can be handled maybe in a once a week meeting or maybe twice a week. But if you have a team that you know themselves are going to be moving through a lot of different changes, you as their leader have to make sure that you're available to kind of help walk them through that or at least get to make sure that everybody's understanding on the same page. If something's changed, you're aligned on how that actual change has impacted all of the other parts of the organization. Because I'm sure that moves
That
into
is
programming and other things as well.
Yes, that is correct. Like, for example, my kitchen manager, I don't need to meet with my kitchen team as much as I
Right.
do because when serve the food, typically the food is delivered, it's brought here, and all we have to do is serve it. That's a little bit more easier
Yeah.
than the transportation transportation logistics or vendor management when it comes to the maintenance side, the building and grounds and things like that. So I just kind of schedule them out as I don't want to say as needed because they're always needed.
Yeah.
Meetings are needed, communication is always needed, but I kind of schedule them out, prioritize them out.
Yeah. That's fantastic. And what would you say was the impact this program kind of had on your life directly? And I know you mentioned you're an achiever. So kind of how did this program play a supportive role in that? How did it challenge that? What ways did it impact you?
Yeah, thank you. So again, yes, I am an achiever and I always want to upgrade my skill set. I always want to upgrade my skill set. I always want to be better than I was yesterday, which sometimes can be a challenge and can sometimes add extra stresses. But nevertheless, the program helped kind of reignite that spark of achieving in me. I'm always achieving, always wanting to achieve, but the spark of accomplishment and the challenging of myself to make those time blocks and to learn something new. It challenged me in that way. And then also some of the great things that it presented. Like I have a whole notebook that I wrote down a bunch of things. I don't have it with me now, but a whole notebook that I could always go back to for some of the lessons and things that was learned in there. So it ignited that spark of me to continue to learn more, to be better, to be great at what I do, to be the best at what I do, to do things in the spirit of excellence, and to continuously learn.
I love hearing that. And especially as a leader in your organization, most likely people are often coming to you for answers. Feel like they're looking at you to solve things and to support them. But it's really wonderful and inspirational to hear you say that, like, hey, as a leader, I too am learning and growing every single day and trying to make myself a little bit better, which I'm sure also serves an inspiration for your entire team as well.
That is correct. Yes, ma'am. I'm always pushing them to grow, pushing them above some of their particular skill sets. I'm always pushing them to go above and beyond. Even if you're hired just as security, I still want you to develop a relationship with a young gentleman. I want you to be great in what you do. I want you to be the best security guard that was ever created on earth. I want you to be the best. I want you to be number one. So I'm always pushing them behind. Even if you are a driver, you're more than just a driver. So I make sure that we have the attire, we have the swag, I make sure they have the confidence and the skill sets to meet and greet the young gentlemen when we pick them up and other things. And I just try to help them to champion the vision of our organization.
They are so lucky to have you, LD, truly. Just as we were obviously to have you in the program, but to be able to work with someone like you on a daily basis that's not only able to see where they're starting, right, in terms of their role, but also potentially where they could be going to, and having someone to have that true belief in them is just such an amazing way to be as a visionary leader. So thank you so much for that to your team and to all of us that are listening. And I would say that kind of leads into our last questions. And what advice would you give to someone who's thinking about joining this particular skills program?
Yeah, the number one thing that I would say is do it.
I
Do it,
love it.
do it, do it. Yes, that's the number thing. Number one thing I would say is take advantage of this opportunity to be a part. If it's offered, take advantage of it. It came up on my email and I didn't know much about it, but then once I went into it and then Diego got a hold of me, it was just, lights, bright lights that came on. And so I would encourage anyone to take advantage of the opportunity to learn all you can, to be a part of the program, and then do as I did and just block out that time so that you can get all that you can out of it, but then also review. Go back and review those things. Keep meticulous and copious notes so that you can go back and review those things.
Love it. And last but not least, if you could share one message with our audience today, what would you say?
I would say that the Generator 8 Skills program is par excellent. It is great. It's great. The staff is amazing. The coaches are amazing, and it is a very impactful program. So I encourage anyone to be a part of it if they can.
Thank you so much, LD. We truly appreciate not only your support, but your continued participation, just even being part of our Impact Series and all of the work that you're doing in Nebraska. Our program continues to run there, actually, now with a funding opportunity from the Omaha 100 organization. So we're really excited to continue working in your area, and I hope to see you very soon.
Yes, me too. Thank you so much. I appreciate this opportunity.
Yes, thank you for joining us today.